Good evening, option traders. This is Sam, the Trader Geek, with your Thursday night option review. It's May 23rd, 2024. Well, the market finally succumbed to a little bit of a reversal today, and the forces of divergence and bad breadth and just overall complacency and chasing finally came to roost as we had the reversal that I thought we were unlikely to get on NVIDIA earnings. But as you can see, we have a bearish engulfing candle up here. We didn't quite make it up to the weekly implied move of 53.70. And right down here at 52.37, we have the bottom end of the options applied expected move. So we're right in the middle of the range, so we can go either way. And as we'll see, I think tomorrow has about a 22-point move. I can see the MACD starting to curl over the fast line. We'll see if that means anything. And we're coming off the 70 level of the RSI. And when that starts, it usually ends up heading at least to the 50 level. So a pullback is warranted, and maybe this is no more than a pause to refresh. Futures tonight are up about 10 points on the ES, and on the NASDAQ, we're up about 30 points. So bouncing a little off the lows that we had intraday. So let's take a look at some of the details of what happened today. As you can see that we closed low in the range, and QQQ was the leader, naturally from NVIDIA. We opened up 1.06, but ended up giving all that back and then some, closing down almost 0.5%. SPY was up 0.5% at the open, gave up 0.75%. DIA really never participated, and it started out about bad from the gate, thanks mostly to Boeing and McDonald's, which were down pretty good percentages. DIA, the worst except for ARC, down 1.5%. Small cap growth, again, started out pretty strong, but faded and closed down 1.38. ARKK, which holds Tesla and Square and other tech names, was down 3%, the worst of the bunch. And you can see that their closing range was pretty much in the bottom quartile of the daily range. And some of these were a lot worse intraday. And we had a kind of a late day bounce into the last hour to take us off the lows. When we look at the industries, all red across the board, nothing in the green, with cannabis being the worst, and internet stocks not doing too well, and solar and cryptocurrency stocks also bearing the brunt of things, with biotech as well down 3%. Really, when you look at actually, what I was pointing to, these are how much they change intraday. We did open up on the semiconductors, but that was the only industry that was positive on the day. Take a look at SPX. As I said, we have about a 25-point expected move for tomorrow. And then the VIX still pricing out calls. We closed at 12.77. That was less than a 4% increase. So you can't say there was a panic, but if let's just say 13, and we look at the $1 out of the money calls at 14, pricing out at $1.02, and then we go to the 12 puts, and those are pricing out at let's say 16 cents, so about 5 times. Still, calls are more expensive than puts, but not as bad as they were yesterday. So some of the premium came out of these in terms of with the pullback that we had, but it's still showing a bias towards more of a pullback when it's 5 times the puts. tomorrow is, of course, the last day before the 3-day Memorial Day weekend. I expect it to be very thin, and especially after the first hour, hour and a half, when people take off if they haven't already taken off today. So let's take a look at the trades and call it a night. You'll notice a lot of gray on the sheet, and we'll start as we always do in alphabetical order with Baba. We're approaching the break even for the rest of this, and it looks like Baba is rolling over for this cycle. So I'm going to say tomorrow, let's close this at or near break even, whatever you can get for it. And we will have gotten everything but our last profit target. It's been a good trade for us. Let's not go beyond break even, or if it opens down, just close it out and we'll be done with this particular trade and call it a nice profitable one. Chewy, still marching in place, not going anywhere. We're up 50% on that. Did not like the action on Caesars, so I want to go ahead and trade this ahead. If we trade below 32.01, which is about 50 cents below today's low, it was a solid red down candle with no support whatsoever. So that tells me the stock is not ready for prime time. So I moved up the stop to 32.01, and that can be an intraday stop. DBX not doing much for us just yet. We have till July. Give that a chance. ENVX, we took the first profit target, but this stock looks like it's ready to pull back again. I don't want to hold this through a pullback. And we are at break even, so I would be closing this out Friday morning, and we got $1.50 on the first round, and if we get break even on the rest, then call it a trade. Microsoft still doing well, up 92.78%. Looking for a roll so we can continue this play with Microsoft staying strong. NVO, one of the bright spots today is it was up a little bit, but we still haven't reached our first profit target yet. Pure Storage came in a bit as well. I know on the active trade list it was taken off, but we have our stop and we're still a few dollars away from it. I'll keep an eye on it. I might end up changing the stop. Well, our play on NVIDIA in terms of buying the straddle in QQQ did not work out. I was watching it at the open and we paid $5.87 for the straddle, and the highest we got was $5.83 at the open, and it was downhill from there. If we could have saved that pullback for after the market open, we might have made out. So I kept watching it and decided that eventually 50% is enough. Since this expires tomorrow, we don't need to take any more than that. I thought we might flip to making money on the puts, but in the end, if we do nothing tomorrow, as the day before Memorial Day tends to be a nothing day, this will just decay into nothing. So we tried this play. I'll probably do it again some other time on another tech earnings, but it didn't work out for us today. SMCI, this one expires tomorrow. If you see weakness in SMCI, and it looks like we might be breaking, say, 800, you'll want to get out of the way and close this out. I fully expect this to close out for 5 cents, but don't play with this if the market is really weak and the stock can really move, and we don't want to give back these profits on this put. Starbucks gave some back today, still looking okay. We took our first profit target on it right away yesterday. We're waiting for the 350 target. So SPY calls that we rolled from the 520s to the 530s. Down a bit today on the pullback, no big deal. But on the other hand, the puts from the original straddle that we put on the 520 were up a bit today. So actually, they were up about 50% from yesterday's low of about 205, but we're far away from a profit target on this one. I may change that one um, since we harvested profits on the original one, on the original calls. Target was green today, up 20% on this put spread, has lots of time. TLT did not help the markets with rates rising a little bit. We're at about $1.59, still near a double on the rest. We're waiting for 335, and we still have plenty of time on this one. XBI, I am very much looking to probably close this one for break even. So I don't have it in gray. I should have it in gray. So go ahead and do that. Let's close this one tomorrow. We've harvested at least 3 profit targets on this, and it looks like biotechs are going to take a breather here. Don't want to hold these to the pullback since they're only good until June, and the biotechs tend to take a little bit longer to cycle up and down. Anyway, you've got about 6 trades tomorrow. We're going to be looking, or actually 5 trades that we're going to be looking to close before we hit the holidays. And I hope you guys have a good Memorial Day weekend, and I'll be with you over the weekend for our weekly review. Take care and have a good trading day tomorrow.